Now that the 2023 MLB season is complete, I think it's time to highlight the most underrated players in the league. In the postseason, we saw players like Gabriel Moreno and Josh Sborz turn into household names overnight. Only 12 teams make the playoffs though, so not every player had the potential to shine on the biggest stage this season. In today's video, I'm going to tell you my picks for the most underrated player on every team in MLB for the 2023 season. Since we're going in alphabetical order, let's start with the Angels. My pick is Luis Rengifo. This was a tough one, with the Angels only having two players who accumulated over 2.2 B WAR, being Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout of course. His offensive numbers aren't eye-popping by any means, but for a utility player who can play 6 different positions and can hit from both sides of the plate, I think he's pretty underrated. For the Astros, I'm going to go with Chas McCormick. On a team with Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Jose Altuve, and Alex Bregman, McCormick does not get enough love for what he does. In 115 games, he posted an .842 OPS while hitting 22 home runs and stealing 19 bases. He also posted 3.6 B WAR while not playing full-time, which is incredibly impressive. This one was an easy choice for me. Moving on to the A's, I'm going to pick Zach Gelof. Gelof didn't make his Major League debut until mid-July, but he was fantastic in his short time in the bigs. In 69 games, he posted an .840 OPS while hitting 14 home runs and stealing 14 bases. Not to mention, he put up 2.6 B WAR on the season, which equates to 6.1 WAR if he played a full 162 games. The A's might be the least watchable team in baseball, but Gelof is very impressive and doesn't get enough praise for how good he is. Next up is the Blue Jays, and I'm picking Tim Mayza. In 69 appearances out of the Blue Jays bullpen, Mayza put up a 1.53 ERA and a 2.6 FIP in 53 1/3 innings, giving up only 9 earned runs on the entire season. His expected numbers show that he's pretty solid too, so I don't think this season was a fluke. If you didn't watch the Blue Jays this season, you probably have never heard of Mayza. So yeah, I think he's pretty damn underrated. Up next, we have the Braves, and my pick is Charlie Morton. In his age 39 season, Uncle Charlie started 30 games for the Braves, posting a 3.64 ERA, 3.87 WHIP, while accumulating 3.1 B WAR and striking out 183 batters in 163 1/3 innings. While the Braves have a number of stars on their team, none flew under the radar more in 2023 than Morton. If he decides to keep playing for another year, some team is going to get a steal in free agency. For the Brewers, I'm taking Hobie Milner. This was by far the toughest call. The entire Brewers bullpen as a whole was pretty underrated. They had 5 relievers throw at least 55 innings for them, and none of them had an ERA over 3.5. So shoutouts to all those guys, but I'm picking Hobie Milner as the most underrated. In 73 appearances and 64 1/3 innings, Milner posted a 1.82 ERA, .96 WHIP, and 3.13 FIP. He also posted 1.7 B WAR, which is fantastic for the amount of innings that he threw. Not to mention, his advanced stats show that he really is elite, so I hope the mainstream media starts realizing that he's one of the best lefty relief pitchers in all of baseball. Moving on to the Cardinals, I'm taking Wilson Contreras. Only about 40 games after signing him to a 5-year $88 million contract before the 2023 season, the Cardinals relegated to moving him to a DH spot with their pitching staff having a 5.4 ERA with him behind the plate. Looking at the advanced analytics, his arm and pop time are both pretty strong, but he's not great at framing and blocking balls. This didn't last long, as he ended up catching 97 of the 125 games he played in. This whole situation caused a lot of tension between Contreras, the front office, and the fans. During the entire season, he posted an .826 OPS while hitting 20 home runs and accumulating 3.4 B WAR. Contreras got way too much hate this season, and it really overshadowed the fact that he had a very solid season. Next up, we have the Cubs, and I'm picking Nico Hoerner. When you think of the 2023 Chicago Cubs, the first players that come to mind are probably Cody Bellinger and Dansby Swanson. Did you know that Nico Hoerner posted 5.1 B WAR, leading the Cubs and being 22nd in MLB among position players? He's criminally underrated. In 2023, he posted a 729 OPS while stealing 43 bases and posting 15 outs above average, tied for 8th in MLB. I think baseball as a whole undervalues defense nowadays, so it's really important to highlight players like Hoerner that excel at it. Up next, we have the Diamondbacks, and I'm taking Christian Walker. If you've watched some of my shorts, you know that I'm a huge Christian Walker fan. In 157 regular season games, he hit 33 home runs and 36 doubles while posting an .830 OPS. Not to mention, he's by far the best defensive first baseman in baseball, recording 11 outs above average, tied for 17th in MLB. All of this resulted in Walker accumulating 3.8 B WAR on the season. On a team with Corbin Carroll and other young studs, Walker doesn't get enough credit for how good he is. For the Dodgers, I'm taking James Outman. In an offense with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, and Max Muncy, Outman flew under the radar in the regular season. In 483 at-bats, Outman hit 23 home runs, stole 16 bases, and had an OPS of 790. He also posted 9 outs above average on defense with a sprint speed in the 88th percentile. This was his rookie season too, so I think he's just going to keep getting better. Now we're on to the Giants, and I'm taking Patrick Bailey. Again, if you've watched my shorts before, you know that I'm a huge Patrick Bailey fan. In his rookie season, his offense was not great. He posted a 644 OPS in 97 games. However, his real value is on defense. According to Baseball Savant, he's in the 100th percentile in fielding run value, which is unheard of. He's the best catcher at framing in the entire league and has ridiculous arm speed and pop time. If he can raise his OPS 100 points higher, he'll soon be an all-star, mark my words. Moving on to the Guardians, I'm taking Tanner Bybee. In his rookie season, he started 25 games and threw 142 innings, posting a 2.98 ERA, 3.52 FIP, and 3.6 B WAR. I know he finished second in AL Rookie of the Year voting. However, I don't think enough people talk about how solid he was for the Guardians. He was easily their most consistent pitcher all year long and was really one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Next up is the Mariners, and I'm picking Justin Topa. In 69 innings out of the bullpen, Topa posted a 2.61 ERA, 3.15 FIP, and 1.6 B WAR. He's a ground ball machine who throws a ton of strikes, and his advanced stats show how effective he's really been. As a result of his lower arm angle, his ball has some late sink on it and it gets a lot of weak contact. I frankly love pitchers like Topa who don't try to get hitters to miss their pitches and rather try to get them to hit their pitches. Up next is the Marlins, and I'm going with Tanner Scott. In 74 games and 78 innings, Scott struck out 104 batters while posting a 2.31 ERA, .99 WHIP, and 2.17 FIP. He accumulated 3.6 B WAR and 2.8 F WAR, both number 1 for all relief pitchers. I honestly didn't realize he was this good until making this list. His peripherals back up his stats and show that he's literally one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. This guy is incredible and deserves his flowers big time. For the Mets, I'm taking Francisco Lindor. I don't care what anyone says, this man gets way too much undeserved hate. In 2023, he hit 31 home runs and 33 doubles while stealing 31 bases and posting an 806 OPS. In total, he posted 6 B WAR, good for 8th month position players in all of baseball. He literally has nothing to do with the Mets being poverty. I will never understand why he gets so much backlash. Now we're on to the Nationals, and I'm picking Hunter Harvey. I feel like everyone knows who Lane Thomas is now, so that's why I chose Harvey over him. In 57 games and 60 2/3 innings, Harvey posted a 2.82 ERA, .94 WHIP, and 3.29 FIP. He accumulated 1.9 B WAR this season while also striking out 67 batters. For being on a team that wasn't talked much of during the season, Harvey deserves his props for being a solid arm out of the Nationals bullpen. Moving on to the Orioles, I'm taking Kyle Bradish. While he did finish 4th in AL Cy Young voting this season, I don't think enough people talk about how good he is. In 30 starts and 168 2/3 innings, he posted a 2.83 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, and 3.27 FIP. This resulted in him accumulating 4.9 B WAR, which was good for 5th amongst all pitchers in MLB. Bradish is incredibly solid, and I hope more people start to notice just how good he is. Next up is the Padres, and I'm picking Tom Cosgrove. In 54 games and 51 1/3 innings out of the Padres bullpen, Cosgrove posted a 1.75 ERA and .97 WHIP. His peripherals are pretty fascinating. As you can see, he's an elite pitcher at getting weak contact, but he rarely generates swings and misses, resulting in him not striking out many batters. But who cares, honestly? His job is to go out there and get outs, and he's really good at it for the Padres. For the Phillies, I'm taking Christopher Sanchez. When you think of the Phillies starting rotation, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, and Taijuan Walker probably come to mind. Sanchez was easily the best number 5 starter in MLB this season. In 18 starts and 99 1/3 innings, he posted a 3.44 ERA and 1.05 WHIP while accumulating 2.2 B WAR. I really like Sanchez's stuff and think he can make the Phillies rotation the best in baseball next season. Up next for the Pirates, I'm going with Jack Suwinski. For those of you wondering where Ke'Bryan Hayes is, everyone knows he's their best player. He's not underrated anymore. Suwinski is underrated on the other hand. In 447 at-bats, Suwinski hit 26 home runs and 21 doubles while posting an OPS of 793 and stealing 13 bases. He's definitely got 30-20 potential, and if he gets more at-bats in next season, great piece for the Pirates going forward. Now we're on to the Rangers, and I'm picking Dane Dunning. In 26 starts and 9 games out of the Rangers bullpen, Dunning posted a 3.70 ERA and 1.26 WHIP in 172 2/3 innings. While those numbers aren't the greatest, I truly don't think people realize how important he was for the Rangers this season. With injuries to Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, and Andrew Heaney during the regular season, they really needed Dunning to give them quality innings, and he did more than that. He accumulated 3 B WAR and led the team in innings pitched. I think it's fair to say the Rangers probably don't make the playoffs without Dunning stepping up in the regular season. Moving on to the Rays, I'm going with Isaac Paredes. In 492 at-bats, Paredes hit 31 home runs and 24 doubles, driving in 98 runs while posting an OPS of 840. I don't know how the Rays did it, but they acquired Paredes from the Tigers in exchange for Austin Meadows before the 2022 season. In 2 seasons with the Tigers, Meadows has 0 home runs in 42 games. Paredes, on the other hand, accumulated 4.2 B WAR alone in 2023. He's one of the best hitters in baseball, and there's no denying it. Next up for the Reds, I'm picking TJ Friedl. The Reds got a lot of attention this season with young players like Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McClain making their major league debuts, while Friedl was arguably their best player. In 488 at-bats, Friedl hit 18 home runs and stole 27 bases while posting an OPS of 819. He was fantastic defensively in the outfield and led the Reds with 3.8 B WAR. This man went undrafted out of college. What an insane rise to stardom. Up next for the Red Sox, I'm taking Chris Martin. This was an easy choice for me, as I was so mad the Dodgers let him walk in free agency last winter. In 51 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, he posted a 1.05 ERA, 1.03 WHIP, and 2.44 FIP. He also accumulated 3.2 B WAR, which is unbelievable for someone who barely threw 50 innings. He's easily a top 10 reliever in baseball and didn't get the credit he deserves this past season because the Red Sox were mediocre. For the Rockies, I'm going with Brent Suter. In Suter's case, I think he's been underrated throughout his whole career, but also this season specifically. In 69 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, Suter posted a 3.39 ERA and 3.44 FIP. In 8 MLB seasons, he's never had an ERA over 4.5. He's always been a solid bullpen piece, and posting those numbers in Colorado is pretty impressive. I'm a little surprised Colorado didn't deal him at the deadline, but that's a conversation for another day. Now we're on to the Royals, and I'm picking Cole Ragans. Ragans came over from the Rangers at the trade deadline after struggling in Texas, and he was absolutely fantastic for Kansas City. In 12 starts and 71 2/3 innings for the Royals, he had a 2.64 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, and 2.49 FIP, while striking out 89 batters in the process. In his short time with KC, he posted 2.6 BWAR, good for second on the Royals next to Bobby Witt Jr. Definitely an underrated pickup by the Royals. Moving on to the Tigers, I'm going with Tyler Holton. I bet at least 90% of my viewers haven't heard of him before. Frankly, I didn't know who he was until sometime after the All-Star break. In 59 games and 85 1/3 innings, Holton posted a 2.11 ERA and 0.87 WHIP. He accumulated 3 BWAR in the season, which of course is incredible for a relief pitcher. His peripherals also show that this season most likely wasn't a fluke. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Holton is the most underrated pitcher in all of baseball. Next up for the Twins, I'm taking Edouard Julien. In 338 at-bats this season, he hit 16 home runs and 16 doubles while posting an OPS of 839. Additionally, he walked 64 times in 408 plate appearances, which is amazing for that sample size. He posted 2.6 BWAR in the season and was a great option for the Twins at second base. Not too bad for a 37th round draft pick in their rookie season. Up next is the White Sox, and I'm taking Gregory Santos. I've raved about how much I like Santos on this channel once before, and I'm gonna do it again now. In 66 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, he struck out 66 batters while posting a 2.65 FIP. That's not why I'm impressed with him though. Looking at his expected stats, he's elite. He's in the 100th percentile in barrel percentage, which is unbelievable. He doesn't give up many hard hits, gets a lot of ground balls, and doesn't walk a lot of hitters. I think he has a chance to break out and be the next Yanier Cano or Felix Bautista for the White Sox next season. Super underrated player. Finally, for the Yankees, I'm taking Gleyber Torres. I've always been a big fan of Gleyber's game, and I've never really understood why people put him in mock trades so much because it's not going to happen. In 596 at-bats, Torres hit 21 home runs and 27 doubles while posting an OPS of 800. I understand that he has his defensive mislaps at times, but this man gets way too much criticism from the media. He accumulated 2.9 BWAR this season and was easily the Yankees' most consistent player with all the injuries they had. The Yankees would be foolish to not attempt to keep him long term. That's going to do it for the video today. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Make sure to leave a comment down below and give your thoughts on the players I chose in the video. If you want to support me further, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. My other socials are also in the description below if you want to follow me there.